In terms of developing competencies, what the reflective practitioner needs to consider are different dimensions of development. And we need to think about not only what we're doing in the classroom, but also the progress of our careers as professionals, and the challenges that that can entail, the opportunities which can go along with that, and our own expectations associated with all of this. And this means that as we progress through this professional life, that our confidence as reflective practitioners will grow, and we will continue to learn from experience and use that experience to help us develop as quality practitioners. And so what we need to do is think about these dimensions. Well, what are these particular dimensions of development that we can consider? What happens with time is that the reflective practitioner becomes much more sophisticated at reflective practice. Initially, reflection is a difficult thing to do. It takes up a lot of time and a lot of effort, requires some deep intellectual skills and critical analysis. But with time, this becomes much easier to do, because you develop strategies for coping with barriers, and also develop particular ways of thinking, very clear, crystal clear ways of thinking. And so what we can do is try to put together a framework to describe this developing competence. And these dimensions will actually help you if you're in the early stages of being a reflective practitioner. They will help you develop much more sophisticated approaches much more quickly. With a greater complexity in teaching comes better reflective practice, and with using a wider range of teaching strategies, these will help us build up our experience and actually help us as reflective practitioners. So using the experiences will actually help us reflect better in the future, and then better reflection will actually help us build better experiences. So there is a cycle here. Also, of course, the reflective practitioner can consider reading around the subject, looking at research, and also looking at other evidences within their own teaching and within the teaching of others. And what this leads to then is thinking much more broadly than just being in your classroom. The reflective practitioner, the developed experienced practitioner, somebody being very sophisticated, is somebody who can expand their learning and expand their experiences, and therefore expand their impact beyond the immediate classroom. And this ultimately will lead to much fuller and complex participation within the whole school. And of course, with growing competence, then there is increased autonomy as a reflective practitioner. Autonomy means that we're much more self-assured, and we have a much greater self-esteem as teachers. And this then gives us a much greater capacity for self-criticism and also self-improvement simultaneously. It also then, if we're looking from a whole school perspective, will help us consider the impact that this will have on our colleagues, especially where we as reflective practitioners can enter into a mentoring situation or a coaching partnership with others, because this is where good practice gets shared in the school environment. And of course, there is also the opportunity for the reflective practitioner to model good practice, and then this helps to enhance the quality of teaching across the whole school. So at this point, what we need to do is think about, well, what are the core values which underpin professional practice, and encourage attitudes and conduct also in terms of what we're doing in the school. So the competencies that we've been talking about, the competencies which have been described about values and about understanding and knowledge, all will help to build a professional persona, a professional identity